All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. John Adele, along with AJ, here with you, being joined right now by Selvin Young, former Longhorn running back, with us here on the show to talk about this big game this Saturday night between the Longhorns and the Aggies, and it means a bunch. Selvin, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. It's brought to you by Rebecca Creek Whiskey, Enchanted Rock Vodka, and Texas Ranger Whiskey, celebrating the rivalry's return. What are your emotions right now, knowing you're playing for the first time in 13 years, you're playing A&M again?
You know, it's a little different from those early morning kickoffs we had. You know, right after Thanksgiving, they would catch us fat full and get us down there in Aggie land. But I'm excited to see this rivalry back. We've been wanting it for a long time. You know, we all got a lot of A&M friends, and A&M friends got a lot of Texas friends, and so it's finally time to get that battle back brewing.
What's I say the A&M game. In your years at Texas, what's the one play that comes to mind when you think of that game?
Man, that's kind of tough. I mean, it's a few plays. Growing up, watching football. I mean, Texas, I've always been a running football team, and I remember watching Cedric Benson just run through A&M like, it was just nothing. I mean, I really enjoyed watching Cedric Benson. He got up for that game more than he got up for any game that I can remember, and he always made me remember, hey, we don't lose to A&M.
And is there one play that you made that sticks out for you?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I can't remember that one play that I made that sticks out. I remember having a bunch of fun out there, though.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
And I'm the man can't even remember playing against you. The man won a national title, John.
Hey, it's the A&M game.
He had bigger games on the schedule. Look, I get it, Selvin, the A&M game, but you guys at that point were rolling. So, I mean, beating up on Colorado, beating up on winning against USC. He had other things in store, John.
Oh, no, he had no question. He had a big career. There's no question about that. Are you going to the game?
I'm still deciding. I got a buddy of mine who's thinking about going. Vince is thinking about he said he's going to go. He's trying to get me to go down there. I got a good buddy, John Daspis, wanting to go down there, so I may go down there with him.
Yeah, I know you're doing a lot of stuff with John Daspit. How's that going?
It's going pretty good. I mean, it's actually cool to have a lawyer who actually cares and likes to get out there. I mean, we was out there handing out turkeys the other day. He's excited about it. We have a little assembly line and families pull up at RSVP that say that they could use a little extra help this Thanksgiving, and he's right there with us. We loading people up with turkeys and having fun and enjoying it and putting smiles on people's faces. So, I really enjoy a lot of the things that he's doing in the community. I mean, we got a bunch of stuff coming up for Christmas. I may get back with you and see if we can give away some bikes and help some families, some of your listeners out there that could, know some people that could use some help.
That's awesome. No, absolutely. We'll be here for you. Absolutely. Love that. Love that. Yeah, John Daspit absolutely does stuff in the community, and he does stuff for college football as well. He gives a lot of money to college football too, and I know you're in the middle of that, and that's got to be fun seeing guys get paid. You never took a dime when you were playing college football, so it's got to be nice to see all these guys out here making some money now, right?
Exactly. Actually, never took a dime. We'd always put our coins together, rub them in, and make a little something out of it. I remember myself, Casey Stutter, Lyle Sinline, we would go eat on Thursdays, and we would always see who was going to pay the bill, and we always end up putting it up together. But, now these guys these running backs can take their whole team out to eat now with the checks that they're getting. But it's actually pretty cool to see. It's great to be able to, especially go to my university and, put some money in those guys' hands and, introduce them to the business side of the world and show them how things are going and how it's supposed to go and enjoy, putting money in those guys' hands. That's something I always wish we could do. Hell, I wish they can go back and give us a check, for some of the stuff we did, but it's in the window.
You mentioned Selvin, you mentioned the running backs, and now there's a big injury early. C.J. Baxter went down, and there are questions about how Texas and that running back room was going to respond. They've responded pretty well. What do you think of Wisner and Blue so far this year?
Before I get on them, as much as I'm impressed with those guys, I'm impressed with Choice. The running back coach. I mean, that guy, he has the ability to get those guys ready to go. Most teams, when you got a lot of, running back by committee, most guys just don't buy into it. But each time that ball is snapped, I mean, those guys, they are going, and they're running and gunning. You get a young guy coming in there running like that. You get Blue, who I think, he's the leader of that group. I mean, he's shifty, quick, and fast. I'm actually proud of those guys. If I could say one thing to them right now, I always carried that football like it was my granny's heart. And that's one thing that I would never let go or let on the ground or drop. And so I hope these guys kind of take that into account and carry that football like it's their granny's heart and don't let that thing on the ground no more. I'm sick of seeing that. But other than that, I mean, this offensive line is powerful. These guys are moving their feet. These guys are not getting contact, and when they do, I mean, I like the way Wisner lowers those pads and runs through that contact. I mean, he's not shy about getting hit. He's not even thinking about it. He's just running. So I'm impressed with these running backs. I think, by committee right now, I think this is enough for us to get done what we need to get done.
He's talking about the front fumbling problem, John, and they've got Jaden Blue walking around campus, high point. He's got high and tight walking around. He's got a football in his hand. He did interviews yesterday with the ball because fumbling has been a problem. So we'll see if that all that work translates to Saturday against A&M.
There's no worse feeling than you're on the ground and somebody's laying on top of you, and that ball is right there, and you can't get to it. The worst feeling in the world.
It is the worst feeling ever. One of my greatest things, I mean, I was in Denver, I didn't get to play too long, but forever I had the record for the most carries in a row without a fumble. That was one thing that I pride myself on. So I never get too hyped or too excited when I'm watching the game, but that's the one thing that'll make me come out of my pants, seeing that ball on the ground.
You need to give Tashard some help with that, get those guys out from fumbling. Stop fumbling right now. Selvin Young with us here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, brought to you by Rebecca Creek Whiskey, Texas Ranger Whiskey as well, along with Enchanted Rock Vodka. Selvin Young, let's talk a little bit about this game. In win or lose, Texas is in the playoff. Win or lose, right? Of course, you want to beat A&M. Do you want another shot at Georgia, or are you worried about, playing another game before the playoff and risking injury?
No, not at all. I mean, at this point in time of year, you're supposed to be an all-well machine. So whoever you face, they just come in and lay down and take the beating like they need to take it. I would love to do that to Georgia. I'd love to see anybody who feels like they're the best right now, because I think that's what you measure yourself up against. I think we had our opportunities against Georgia. You had a quarterback that hadn't really played a little bit, and he's coming in a little rusty. That's that front, seven that those guys got. I mean, that defensive line kind of got after us, and so I'm pretty sure our O-line is looking at their chops right now to get after those guys. And, hey, I do think we knocked those guys out early. Or at least we get there, beat them, and we get a bye. If we see them again, we see them again. But, I think one game at a time. We take care of A&M this weekend. We get to see Georgia in the SEC championship, and I think that's how things should go. We should take care of those and get that first round bye.
Selvin Young here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Yeah, that Georgia, you want a little bit of revenge. There's no question about that. And you want that first round bye. You get to wait all the way until New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. That's a lot of fun. How do you like being in the SEC in the first year?
I like it. We get a lot of slack of guys saying, "Hey, you coming to the big boys," and I don't think they understand. We are the big boys. We are Texas, and no matter where we at and where we play, with a coach like what we got right now, Coach Sark, I mean, this guy is firing. He knows his team. The team knows him. They love him to death. He's a great man, and he's molded these seniors. I'm so proud of these seniors. These guys walked the other day. They're going out in the world to be men, and he's just not raising athletes, so he's raising men, and that's what I like about it, because that translates to the field more than anything. Taking care of your responsibility, being where you're supposed to be, being on time and paying attention, and he got these guys buying in, and I think that's going to translate to dominating the SEC for as long as he's there. So hey, we just give this guy an unlimited lifetime agreement and not play any games there. But I'm looking forward to this SEC. It's better football. It's more competition for us. I'm actually tired of seeing guys leave Texas and go to these other teams. I mean, I think Texas is where they should go. Be from home. So I'm looking forward to the future of this SEC.
And how much do you hate that Oklahoma is struggling this year?
Hate is not in my heart. I'm gonna have to say I love to see that. Because hate is not in my heart. So opposite of hate is love. And but I like to see good football. It's a lot of great history with Oklahoma. I'm glad they came along with us. But hey, I'm not worried about anybody struggling. I just like to see us succeed. I wanted us to have a perfect season. I want those guys to match us, try to do what we did. But hey, it's more than one way to skin a cat, and we got opportunities coming.
So now that the rivalry is back, which one's bigger then and now, Oklahoma or A&M for you?
A&M, by triple.
Oh.
I mean, you should see how it's going out here right now. I just played in a golf tournament at Lakeside the other day, and it was Texas versus Texas A&M, like member deal. And, I mean, those guys are warriors and going at it. And it was fun to watch. Me and Vince actually went out there and played, and we're just watching these guys. Texas, they find ways to compete in everything. You see two guys walking out of the bathroom, and one shoots the paper towel in a trash can, and an A&M guy goes and grabs it and says, hey, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to shoot it. And I'm watching it. I'm like, it's deeper than football. It's just part of our life, our way, and I love it. There's no rivalry bigger than this.